but we're also reacting to a 9:05 overtime victory against the Maine Celtics last night. But 2 games for today. The Raptors are in Detroit, play the Pistons, and also the Raptors 9:05 play the Maine Celtics second day back to back today also. So 2 games on the slate for Raptors fans. 9:05 Maine Celtics, second game of 2 in a back-to-back, and Detroit against the Raptors in the Motor City Little Caesars Arena. Yeah, let's do the preview. Let's get it all ready and in a package for you guys so you know what's going on here. All right, we'll start with the big enchilada, the Raptors game in Detroit. They have not played in a couple days. They had a good day of rest, a travel day, and they hung out in Detroit yesterday. So they were in practicing yesterday in Detroit, which is awesome. The injury list is saying this, that it looks like Abaji's going to miss the game today. Day-to-day hip injury, doubtful for the game against the Pistons on Saturday. So Abaji is the only listed Raptor on the injury list. So it could be that he's going to miss the second game of the season because the hip pointer is what they're calling the injury right now. So that means we've got pretty much everybody available. We should have the same starting lineup of Barbecue Yak Dick. And yeah, looking pretty good. Probably Bruce Brown will play today, just so y'all know, warning you ahead of time. On the Detroit side of things, a couple injuries real quick. Of course, Jaden Ivey's injury from the rollover by Cole Anthony is still an issue. He is out. And they say that he underwent successful surgery to repair a broken fibula in his left leg, and he'll be reevaluated in 4 weeks. Yeah, it's going to be out for a while. So Jaden Ivey is out, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is questionable for today's game due to his back. So that is what the Pistons are saying for injuries right this moment. So who is going to be starting tonight? Probably. It's probably going to be Cade Cunningham, Malik Beasley, Ausar Thompson, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren. Yeah, that's a tough lineup. You know, the all-roundness of Tobias Harris, the youth and talent coming up of Ausar, Cade Cunningham, absolutely the top player. Jalen Duren, just a very, very wide load, tough kind of player to deal with down low with double-doubles and strength. And then you got Malik Beasley, who in Detroit has been a sharpshooter for them coming from Milwaukee and doing the same stuff for them. Off the bench, Marcus Sasser, Ron Holland II, Simone Fontecchio. That's how you say it. I've heard Matt say it on the air. It's like Fontecchio. Beef Stew, of course, still off the bench for them. Dennis Jenkins, Wendell Moore Jr., Paul Reed, Tofu Smith, and Bobby Clintman is rounding out the lineup for the Pistons right now. They have actually done very well in the last couple weeks. They have won 8 of their last 10 games, guys. So this is not any Raptors fan is not up to speed on who's where and what in the standings and what they're doing. The Pistons are a 500 team right now. Yeah, they're a 500 team. In some ways, they swapped places with us in the NBA standings this year. They went up to being a more 500 team like we were a couple years ago. And now we're in the bottom cellar like they were in the last couple years. So, yeah, they won 8 out of 10. They lost to Denver and Golden State in their last 10 games, and that's it. They have wins on the road and a road trip out west against Phoenix, the Lakers, and the Kings. And then they came home and beat Orlando, Charlotte, Minnesota, and Portland. And then they beat Brooklyn on Wednesday, and they lost to Golden State on the second night of back-to-back in Detroit. So they lost their last game to the Warriors. So, yeah, they're playing very well, the Detroit Pistons. They are no slouch this year, and we got to treat them that way. We'll start off with the 9:05 G League game for today. As far as it's a tip-off at 7 p.m. Unfortunately, it'll be right around the same time as the tip-off for the Raptors game with Detroit. So double watching duty. The referees for the game tonight in Maine are Marcy Williams, crew chief, number 72. The referees, Kevin Fahey, number 42. And Kaz Beverly is the umpire, number 51. We had Kevin Fahey yesterday, too. He refereed the game yesterday also. So, yeah, hopefully we can win again against the Maine Celtics. It was a fantastic win last night. We're going to go over it. But, yeah, it's tough to win a back-to-back game against the same team. And, well, we'll just have to see. This Maine Celtics were very, very close to beating us. And we beat them. So they're going to probably want to get back. And this game tonight is going to be very competitive. And it may be very difficult to win the second one also. I don't know, though. Maybe we will. Let's see. For the Raptors game tonight, our crew chief is going to be Nick Booker. Nick Booker out of Orlando, Florida, 15th season, number 3. He likes to watch Game of Thrones. His favorite movie is Gladiator. He listens to David Gray. His favorite book is October Sky. He likes to eat steak. He listens to bands in town. He most likely to visit Rome and attend the Super Bowl. Bookert has 9 years of officiating experience in college basketball and 4 years in the NBA G League. He officiated the NBA G League and the NBA G League All-Star Game in 2010. Nick Bookert, we've had him once this year so far. And we've had him twice already. We've had him twice this year, and we've lost both the games we've had him so far this year. This will be the third game he refs us this year. He is the best ref statistically for the Raptors today, the crew chief. We win 59% of our games when he referees. Meanwhile, the Pistons win 41%. So 59-41 the split for the Raptors with Nick Booker, the crew chief. So very friendly ref for the crew chief. He's a very straight down the middle kind of ref. So I expect him to be very fair. The second ref is out of New Jersey, number 54 in his 8th season, Ray Acosta. Ray Acosta likes The Sopranos. He likes Scarface. He likes Michael Jackson. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a book he reads. He eat anything Italian. He likes to watch Netflix. He'd most like to visit the Maldives. His bucket list is to be in a shark tank surrounded by great white sharks in Australia, and his hidden talent is dancing. Ray Acosta spent 6 years as an NBA G League referee, working in the All-Star Game and Finals in 2017. He's kind of in the middle of things between the three refs. There's kind of each has 3 levels. Dick Bookert is the nice ref. Ray Acosta is kind of in the middle. We're 1-1 this year so far with Ray Acosta, so we do have a win in one of the games with Ray Acosta this season. We are 46% chance of 46% winning percentage in the history of Ray Acosta in Raptors games, and Pistons are 44%, so it's quite close, 46-44 for the Raptors with Ray Acosta, the second ref, and he's 1-1. He's the only ref in the game tonight that has refereed a win for us this year already. So just so y'all know. The third ref is Sayesh Mehta, number 82, out of Baltimore, Maryland, his 5th season. He likes to watch The Office. He likes the movie Slumdog Millionaire. His favorite musician is Bob Seger. His favorite book is The Alchemist. His favorite meal is butter chicken with garlic naan. Favorite app is Spotify. He most like to visit Australia. His bucket list is play at golf at Pebble Beach, and his hidden talent is badminton. Mehta officiated 5 seasons in the NBA G League, working the playoffs 3 times between 2017 and 2019, and serving as a finals alternate in 2019. Yeah, he's the one who was going to be a doctor, but he decided to become a referee instead. We've lost the only game that Sayesh refereed for us this year. We win. He's a really bad ref for us historically. He's one of the bottom 10 refs in the league for the Raptors. We win 31% of our games with Mehta. And meanwhile, the Pistons win 37% of their games. So they actually are favored with the third ref, Mehta, 31-37 for the Pistons on the third ref. So, yeah, there's your refs. It really is like a good, a medium, and a bad. Good, a medium, and a bad. Nick Booker, good ref, really been good to us over our history. Ray Acosta kind of in the middle. And then Mehta just not been nice to us. Not been nice to us. He's like in the Kugat area of the ref report. Yeah. So yeah, the ref crew is the ref crew. And I think that they're pretty okay. This is a game that's interesting tonight because the Pistons have won a lot recently, like I said, and they're playing pretty good. But you know what? We need to win again, and they need to lose again. And just like the Cleveland game was kind of a trap game on Thursday, this one's a trap game again for the Pistons. And in some ways, this is a much more gettable trap game for the Raptors than the Cavs game on Thursday. Because that game, I mean, the Cavs are just on another level this year with what they're doing and their winning ways. And the Pistons are at 500, and they won a lot recently. Like I said, 8 out of 10. There may be more evening out, more natural kind of stuff happening with flattening out of averages that we're going to win today. So have some faith, Raptors fans, that we may actually win the game today. In fact, let me go look at the matchup predictor. This may be when I do it, is right around now when I look at the matchup predictor for the game tonight and what's the percentage of Raptors possibility to win. Yeah, they're giving us a 35% chance to win against the Pistons tonight on the ESPN matchup predictor. Of course, the Pistons are at 65%. We're 35%, but that's way better than 10 or 11% like it was in the last game. So, yeah, 35% chance that the Raptors can win tonight is what the predictor is saying, just so y'all know. All right, let's go and see what's going on in the chat. We got the classic card. We got the Instagram stories. We got the stars of the game for the G League game last night. And we got the preview all set up. All right, let's see what's going on here. Who's in the chat this morning? Trevor J. He's saying, be humble, be grateful for the things you have, for the things and people you have in your life, things you take for granted someone else is praying for. Man, yeah, that's true. That is true. That'll keep you humble, understanding what you have and really understanding it. Don't take it for granted. Don't look over it. You may be shocked to feel that someday not having it in your life and just how empty that feels. So really, really understand this concept, especially with people that you love and your family that are close to you. Seriously, I'm about that. I'm about that. Trevor saying, good win for the 905. Let's do it again today. Yeah, it's fantastic. They hung with the Maine Celtics. It was a very close game throughout the whole game, right up into overtime. They did the Elam ending where the first team to score 7 points in the overtime ends the game and they win. And it was a little sketchy and dicey at the end. The Maine Celtics crowd in their little high school gym arena were getting real rowdy and loud at that end of that overtime. And Eugenio Moroy, our 10-day, who's playing for the G League team, but not on the main team, which is weird to me, had to make a free throw, just 1 out of 2 to win the game. And he did. He did. He missed the first one, though. So there was high drama. And, if he had missed the second one, they ran down the court. J.D. Davison threw up a crazy 3 and they won the game. All of a sudden, I'd be pissed off. But that's not what happened. The Raptors 905 took care of business and did it enough to be able to win, but just barely, honestly. Just barely won that game last night. Just barely. Man, there were a couple stops there that were kind of like, no, score right now. We want this game to be over. But no, the Maine Celtics would stop the Raptors from scoring and ending the game. And then they'd score and they'd get closer. Oh, my gosh. It was a little stressful, but it was a good win for Andrew Jones and them. And they're a winning record, 3-2 now in the G League regular season. And we want to see them do really well and get in the playoffs for the G League. We have a good enough team to do it. There's a lot of talent on our G League team right now. And it's pretty static with guys kind of hanging around that are going to be there for the rest of the year for the most part. Yeah. Trevor's saying, happy game day, Raptors. Let's get that W. Yeah. 35% chance is giving us against the Pistons tonight. That can inform your information on. It can inform you on the possibility of the Raptors getting the dub tonight. Is kind of looking at the matchup predictor and seeing, well, what percentage do they think we got? 35% chance to win. It's not better than 50%. But it's not like 10 or 20%. It's, bam, son. Whoa, Alan Tam, bam, son. Good morning, Trucker Kaz. Good morning to you. Trevor's saying, happy birthday to Chris. Yes, I got this all screwed up this week. I was 2 days ahead on all my birthdays, but I've rectified this. And today is actually Chris Boucher's 32nd birthday. Yeah, let's go look at the Instagram. We're going to do things a little bit all over the place today. First of all, we are looking at the Raptors Instagram official account, and they're out at the Bluffs. It's RJ and Grady and Akil Augustine, and they're sitting down to eat jerk chicken. And RJ and Akil are giving Grady the vernacular. They're telling him how to use Scarborough man lingo and accents and saying words. And it's pretty funny, actually. It's pretty funny. Akil's really pouring it on thick. And RJ's just kind of being an authentic Torontonian kind of guy and kind of just like, teaching young Grady about Toronto culture. And it's weird that they're out at the Bluffs sitting at a picnic bench while they're doing this. It's hilarious, kind of. So check out that clip. Yeah, there's a game day, a graphic for today, January the 11th, 7 p.m., Detroit Pistons. And guess who's on there? Our guy, the birthday boy, number 25, celebrating number 32 at this point. Siakam, just a bunch of posts from him walking around in the Pacers place. All his teammates, Miles Turner. All these guys, they're all on here. And just action shots of Siakam to get his brand image out there. Tons of Instagram stories. There he is against Dennis. Dennis wearing the Golden State Warriors jersey. It's kind of funny. We'll see them next week. But yeah, there's Siakam living that life. If you want to check in on Siakam, go check out his Instagram, styling and profiling. He doesn't seem as happy right now as he did at the beginning of the season. I think it's because Indiana is not winning as much as they'd hoped. So yeah, get going, man. Get going, Pascal, and get those Pacers far in the playoffs. That's what I want, man. Eugene Omoruyi getting the highlight of him hitting the free throw to win the game last night in Maine. And he says, game. Shh. Yeah, that's right. Eugene just had to hit a free throw. That's the Elam ending. In some ways, it's so dumb. Like, in the chat, some of the people in the chat were saying, oh, now we're going to have overtime. I've got time to, like, Blake, will you tell us this? Because Blake Murphy's in the chat with us, talking to us during the game. And I'm like, you don't understand the Elam ending, casuals in the 905 chat. The Elam ending has no time set to it. It's as fast as somebody can put the points in the basket. If they set it for 7 points, whichever team scores 7 points first gets to 121, wins the game. And that could take like that because it only takes 3 shots to make 7 points. So you can get 3 shots down the court. Boom. That may be under a minute. So anybody, that's the weird thing. The Elam ending's weird. I like it in some ways, but also at the same time, it kind of pisses me off too. Because it's like we won the game on a free throw. That's very, in some ways, anticlimactic, but not. It's kind of like, okay, well, I'm just glad we won. But yeah, winning a game on a free throw like that is kind of cheesy to me sometimes. Maybe I've just liked the buzzer running out, seeing the 0-0s, and then be like, oh, now we won, But that's not how it is. It's a very weird concept, Elam ending. And it was in effect last night in the Raptors 905 victory. Yeah, but I love Eugene posting it up on his Instagram right away and saying game, him shooting a free throw right through there and winning a game literally on a free throw. Like, that's right. Norman Powell's got his mom on blast on his Instagram stories today. Interesting. And 6-footer got some crazy bounce. I'm not sure what player that is. Raptors 905 will be playing at 7 p.m. tonight. Just so you know, once again, against the Maine Celtics. Make sure you're getting in your votes for the G League Up Next game, where you can vote for our Raptors 905 players to play in the G League All-Star game. That would be awesome. Yeah, and there's some more clips of them working out before the game, putting shots up. Jonathan Mobo, AJ Lawson. Yeah, it was a good game last night. It was very close, back and forth with Maine. The Raptors 905 were winning most of the game. Most of the game, they were winning most of the game. And yeah, there's some interesting stories to tell about the game. Apparently, Emmanuel Quickley was at the driving range, the golf driving range we've seen Raptors players go to in the last couple of years, where they, it's outside, you can really hit it. But I guess this guy was really bad. He missed it. So Emmanuel's posted that. Disu was out yesterday, but he's posting a player for St. Mike's or something. I'm not sure who that is. Let's see. Davion Mitchell has got a fun picture of him and Jacoby waving to the camera in their practice jerseys. And they're a good bump. They're at the Detroit Pistons practice facility 19 hours ago, putting in that practice I was talking about. Let's see this. Chauncey Billups. There's a Chauncey Billups shirt that Davion has. He has a lot of heroes, and one of them is Joe Dumars. He took a picture of Joe Dumars on the wall, and well, he's got a Chauncey Billups shirt, and it actually has a Raptors logo on it from when Chauncey was a Raptor. It's kind of cool. It's got all the teams that he played for through his career right in a row, and there's the Toronto Raptors logo on there. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, there's the Dumars logo that I was talking about that Davion took a picture of and posted on his Instagram yesterday. And there he is walking around outside with his silent ball. Jamal Shed has reposted the picture from yesterday that was posted on Jacoby Walters' Instagram of them in an elevator in Detroit. There's just Jamal, Jacoby, Oshai, and RJ. And it's a cool picture. They're kind of like, it's like a band album cover photo or something like that. It's kind of cool. Yeah, there's an action photo from Cleveland the other night. There's AJ Lawson. It's putting a thing out to vote for him for the up next game for G League. If you could do that, that'd be great. And Slim Duck, he's got highlights of him against Cleveland on Thursday when he was electric. Came out there firing and running and grabbing rebounds and doing everything and just living in that flow of life. Let's see. Yeah, Scotty posted it. And Chris reposted it. So Scotty very proud of Chris's game on Thursday and calling him a game changer. And Chris is proud of Scotty showing him affection. So he reposted Scotty's post. And he's posted Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, last night. Chris Boucher does love Shawn Michaels. And, well, he's put the DX leader on blast on his Instagram stories. Yeah, it's kind of goofy. But hey, wrestling on there. And there is like, he's also got this nostalgic entrance of Kane coming out with law enforcement, chained him up. Like he's a psycho, crazy man. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's from a long time ago. Maybe Chris is coming out of the game like that. That's his mentality. He's got Chris Boucher's top career dunks on blast on here. He just posted this in the last hour. There's a little mixtape of Chris making crazy dunks, some alley-oops. There's that free throw line dunk that he did a couple years ago. Yeah, Chris has got some highlights as a Raptor. That's for sure. I mean, he's been playing for us for 6 years now. So, you know, he's going to have some highlights. That's right. And people are sending him happy birthday messages already. He's reposting some of them now. At this point, there's the Raptors saying happy birthday, Chris Boucher, and he puts it up there. Happy birthday. I'm going to write it to him right now. Happy birthday, Chris. There you go. I just wrote him a message. Jacoby Walter walking through the hotel or the Cleveland Arena there with a big smile. He's always cheesing because he's happy. He's got good things going, and he's posted some stuff recently about his philosophies on life that makes me really realize he's really got his head screwed on straight and that he is going to be a real one because he just gets it. He just gets it. RJ Barrett reposting the Chris Boucher performance from Thursday. Proud of him, just like Scotty. And there's the Scotty posting of it also. Game changer. That's right. So the Raptors are proud of the birthday boy today. On their Instagram, they're showcasing Chris and his excellence in this past week. There you go. Instagram stories from you right there. Bam, son. There you go. Bam, son. Happy birthday, Chris. It's what all about. 32 years. Good morning to Wayne Strainer. Good morning to Nins. She's saying, morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you. I hope you're having a great start to your day on this Saturday. Got a little bit more extra snow in my area out here. It looks like a nice, fresh dusting. Yeah, and it's not going anywhere. It's just hanging around. Boss Take's here. Good morning. Good morning to you, Boss Take. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. And Jay's saying, what do we gain from winning this game? Well, Jay, I'm going to tell you right now, it's important for the guys to get some success to understand that the whole process is worth it. Does that make sense? You know, I know some people are going to just say, oh, we're losing so much. We might as well lose and get the top pick. Well, that is not the right way to do this. Seriously. We shouldn't be trying to tank it all, Jay. We should try our earnest to win and win as best as we can. That's what winning teams do. And we're not a winning team right now, so we're not winning. But we have to keep practicing it. So going to the Detroit and trying to lose the game on purpose, that doesn't help us at all, Jay. So we need to put a good, honest effort in. And if we win, that's fantastic. Because you don't know what it's like to sit on that team bus or team plane and feel the losses just washing over you. 8-30 this year, Jay. 8-30. So you don't think our guys deserve the feeling of getting wins from time to time? No, they need this for their mental health. They need this for a stroke of confidence that Darko's a good coach and he's doing a good job. So, no, we need to get this win if we can. If we can't, well, we're not ready yet. We're not breaking through. We're not showing the talent, the aptitude, and the effort and the collective connection as a team to be able to beat teams that are in a better place than us right now. So, no, Jay, we need to practice the exercise of winning every single night we play, even if we don't have a chance and we don't. So, yeah, that's flawed thinking, man. And I'll give you a strike if you go in this direction more. Yeah, we don't do this here. We're not tank artists here. We don't like tanking here. We want to win as many games as possible. It's just the Raptors aren't capable of doing that this year. Does that make logical sense to you? Because seriously, is the draft pick that important that you want to destroy your team with losing culture for the whole fucking season, Jay? Because it isn't to me. Because I trust in Masai. I don't give a shit where we pick. We could pick 15th, as low as that. And people will be like, that's fair, Lex. We lost so much. We're only going to get 15th pick. Nah, because I know Masai's a genius. He's going to get the best player no matter where he picks. And in some ways, we don't determine where we pick anyway. Ping pong balls do. So why don't we try and win out and play as hard as we can and win, even if tank commandos want to, oh, we're winning. No, we may win more going out because the chemistry will be better. We're more healthy this half of the season. And the schedule is way easier than the first half of the season. So the Raptors collect more wins in the second half of the season. I don't want to hear Jay and other people coming in here. Why are we winning? Why are we winning? No, we're an NBA team. You're supposed to try and win. All right, let's keep going. Well, Wayne Strainer saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. When we share the ball, good things tend to happen. This goes for everybody. I see Scotty, RJ, IQ, and Bruce don't pass obvious plays. It causes turnovers and breaks momentum. That's a long list of blame right there. I mean, I'll see it with Bruce. I'll give him that. But those other guys, how you can do that to them? These guys are expert passers, and they do a really good job. The three of them, all three barbecue. So why you want to do that to them? You can say that about Bruce. That's fine. But you can't say that about barbecue. Scotty and Manuel, their assist totals are amazing. So you can't say this, man. You can't say this. You know, they may make decisions and pass up opportunities, but they're going and trying to take them. And there's a lot of good assist numbers for the Raptors to prove that this is true. That's right. Boss Takes saying, win in ways. That's right. Win in ways. I like him. Eugene Omaroy. You know what they called him last night? And it made total sense. And now it clicks with me. And now I'm going to start calling him. They called him Canadian Draymond Green. Canadian Draymond Green. I was calling him ethical Draymond Green, but that's not totally true. Eugene Omaroy is not completely ethical as a player, just like Draymond. He's not on the same level of Draymond Green, but he does some dirty shit. So I'm going to call him Canadian Draymond Green now. Yeah, that's what Eugene Omaroy is now. I wish he'd come up and play in Detroit today. I was talking to Blake Murphy in the chat last night. Wait, where's Eugene? He didn't start last night. That's the weird thing. This man's on a 10-day. He's technically the 15th person on the Raptors main roster right now, but he may not even go join the Reign team because he's just hanging out with 905 this whole time. And the only reason why they gave him the 10-day contract is to give him a pay increase for the season because they felt like he deserved it for coming and joining our team. And in some ways, he may not get to play for the Raptors. He may just kind of hang around the 905 this whole time. I don't know. We'll have to see after these games that come up when they're both kind of lined up and the 905 contingency can be around the Maine Raptors and not be separated by road trip. Isn't that weird? This is like I said, Blake, I don't see Eugene out there. You say he's there. He's just on the bench. He hasn't played yet. I'm like, oh, okay, Blake, thanks. He's not in Detroit. No, he's not in Detroit. He's in Maine, and he was, and he won. He hit the game-winning free throw by the end of the game. He didn't start, and he didn't come in very quickly into the game either. It was weird. I don't know. Eugene's happy. He was happy at the game. He was happy to win the game. In some ways, NBA, G League, whatever. He's playing basketball. He just is happy. and he made more money. And in some ways, that's the things that matter. But maybe it does matter to him that he gets some actual burn on a Raptors court and not just a Raptors 905 court. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him exactly, Boss Take. I wish he was in Detroit right now, but he's in Maine. He's in Maine. That's weird, man. Randolph's here. Good morning to Randolph Phillips. On this winter game day, I bring blessings to our beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Think before you act and speak. This helps in avoiding conflicts and mistakes. Yeah, you know what? It's good to be considerate of people. I think that sometimes in society, sometimes people feel like they can just be rude by being real. Oh, well, I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just being real here. Okay, you're also being an asshole. Let's just put it that way. So maybe a little common courtesy and a little bit of respect and a little bit of consideration for people around you before you open your mouth. I mean, they have a checklist. It's like, is this helpful? Is this necessary? Is it this? You go through that list. And if it isn't any of those things, don't say it. Don't say it. That's what I say there. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families out there. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Randolph. Yeah, Jay saying, winning ways, season is over, brother. Let's get some much needed talent on the team. Season starts over next year. Man, it's not like that, Jay. You can have your perspective and look at it this way, but I look at every single game as a new opportunity for Darko to progress and teach this team to be better. And we can't wait till next season. We've got a whole half of the season to play right now where we can workshop and get better as a team right now. You want to wait to rebuild until November? That's stupid, man. We need to start working now. And if we can start winning more games by the end of the year, that's progress. And that's showing that we're rebuilding up. We want to build up. We're going to build a little bit of the house now and say, oh, you're up for the rest of the day, guys. It's 12 noon. No, we got a whole half of work day to fucking go and make the house still, Jay. You need to get with the Raptor Freak program, bro. We're not tank artists here. We're not about tank commanding. No, we're not. We're trying to progress in a rebuild and get better and better every day. And a wasted day is a wasted opportunity, Jay. And your mentality is that kind of wasteful mentality. No, we don't just scrap the whole season because we're 8-30 right now. No, we need to play these games. We still got to get on planes and get in hotel rooms and go and do all the rest of the fucking games the rest of the season. So you want them to just waste their time and just roll over? We're losers. We're just going to lose over it. No, we need to fight. And we need to go with those games and win some games nobody expected us to. And tank commanders like you will cry and whine afterwards because we won those games. And meanwhile, true fans like us will celebrate and be happy that the Toronto Raptors got that W. So, yeah, no, you're not stepping in here right, bro. You're not stepping in here right. You want to go talk about this kind of shit? There's dozens of other Raptors channels you can go be a tank commander on, bro. Yeah, you don't have to be here. I'll show you the door. I don't give a shit about subscriptions. I do this channel out of pure passion in my heart for the Raptors to win the next Larry O'Brien. And if you ain't lining up with me on that, man, no. You gonna waste a half a season? Oh, we suck. We're already bad. We need to lose every game. You're an idiot. And I'll say that to your face. I don't give a shit if you pissed off about me calling you an idiot. You are an idiot. All right, let's go. Let's keep going. All right, let's see. Stargate saying, Jay, are you new around here? Yeah, obviously. He's getting it, Stargate. He's getting it. That's right. Trevor's saying Celtics in New York lost last night. SGA, 39 points. Yeah, Oklahoma City kicking the Knicks' ass. Yeah, baby. Yeah, let's go, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I love to hear that, man. And good stuff. Yeah, the Celtics have been losing a lot more recently. Lot more. That's right. That's right. Boss Takes saying a first rounder for Chris or nothing. If we're going to trade Chris, we damn sure ain't going to trade him on his birthday. Nah, I ain't trading no Chris Boucher on his birthday. From the Raptors, 32 years old today. No. That's not a Masai Ujiri present we need to give. No. At least a week. Come on, y'all. Let's wait at least a week. Let's wait at least a week. Boss Takes saying Cooper is not better than Scotty. Yeah, I will completely agree with that. I mean, first of all, I'm sick of people overvaluing prospects. Like every year, guys come out and they're like, oh, Wemby this, so that. Wemby's for real. I get it. But did Wemby come in like everybody thought he would in his first year and win? No, he didn't. And honestly, he's a project. He has a lot that he has to work out still. So there's always an overhyping, even with a player like Victor Wembanyama, who's absolutely a generational player, but he was overhyped. Let's not fucking lie about this. He was overhyped. Scoot Henderson was overhyped, and fucking Cooper Flagg is overhyped right now too. And that's why I'm sick of this shit. Do you guys not understand the bird in the hand's worth two in the bush? You know that saying? That you have a good player like Scotty already established himself playing in NBA games currently and doing certain things. That's better than the prospect of what Cooper Flagg could be, honestly. And that's what I say right there. People don't understand this. It's like these motherfuckers ain't done shit in the NBA, and y'all are acting like they're gods already. It used to be in the NBA. It doesn't matter if you're a first-round pick. You still need to prove your ass, Joe Smith, Michael Owokandi, Sam Bowie, Greg Oden. You still need to prove yourself, even if you're a top 5 pick. Everybody in the NBA casuals that are young fans now, they're like, oh, these guys are so great. They give them everything before they even fucking show up and do anything. So I don't give shit about G.I. Joe named Cooper Flagg because that motherfucker ain't done shit in the NBA yet. And Scotty Barnes is an all-star and a rookie of the year. So that is enough to say right there. That is enough to say right there. That's right. Namath saying, I try my earnest every single day. Earnest. Yeah, there you go. Thumbs up. There you go. Jay saying, this team is not good and we need talent. We have a lot of talent on this team. Barbecue is a very good, talented trio. And we're fine. In some ways, we've just been very unlucky this year. We've had very serious injuries, which were not seen to happen for us. And it was tough because with the team that we have, with the talent level that we have, we can't afford to have injuries. And that's what's happened this year. Now, if we had started this year with Emmanuel completely healthy, and he had played right through this with most of the time with RJ and Scotty completely healthy, we'd be further along this season already. But we are in the middle of the season starting basically because Emmanuel just started playing at New Year's. And, well, we got to do what we got to do. We got to start building at wherever we can when the guys are available. And that's part of the reason why you think, oh, this team's not that good. It's not that. Motherfucker, we just took the best team in the league, the best team record, to the end of the game and could have won it, honestly, if we had our shit together and knew what we were doing a little bit better. So, yeah, let's not get this twisted. This team has talent. It has not shown talent around Christmas because of injuries, fatigue, and maybe a little bit disheartenment of losing too much. That's why they need to win, Jay. And, yeah, no, this team has talent. It may need to be retooled and reshuffled with a little bit of the bit players, the role players, but the three core and Jakob Poeltl are keepers. And Grady Dick is talented too. So I'd say the starting 5 is very solid. And there are players on the bench also that are being invested in. They're going to be powerful, good players for us in the future, like Jamal Shed. So, yeah, I can't get behind you on this. We've been hurt. You can say this team don't have talent, but you can't fucking say that honestly until we play the games with the full roster healthy for at least a month or two, because they need to get cooking with their barbecue before you can say barbecue don't taste good. That's what I'll say right there, man. That's what I say right there. Man, there's so many casuals, so many people that don't fucking understand basketball, and it takes things to build. It takes time to build. You don't just instantly get shit, you young, dumbass, casual NBA fans. You don't just instantly get shit. You have to work and build things. And it's, today's world is such a instant gratification world. I don't think young people can get this idea for how you have to build things over time. Cleveland was not built overnight. Cleveland got good over 6 years since LeBron left. Oklahoma City was not built overnight. They built that core up over years, and they had losing seasons like we're having right now before they got there. So casuals, open your fucking eyes and understand the process. Not the Joel Embiid losing, tanking process, by the way, is what I'm saying here. That's right. Boom, boom, boom. Stargate saying, I knew Lex was going to go off on Jay as soon as I saw the comment. Timeout incoming. Well, listen, I'm just saying, if you'll listen to me and kind of see my point of view, you're good. But listen, I have no patience for losing mentality, even if we're losing right now. You know, there's a way to look at it and parse it out logically in the smart way. It's like we need to try and win every single night because we're in the NBA, and that's what you're supposed to do. But if we don't win, well, I'm not going to get all bent out of shape and upset because I'm not going to tie my emotions to it. If they don't win, I'm going to logically say, well, look, we're not ready yet. We're still rebuilding. We're going to get better and better over the years, but we have to be patient. We have to be patient. And people are not being fucking patient is part of the problem. You want to speed up the process by losing all the rest of our games just to try and get the number 1 pick? Well, the worst team in the league last year didn't get the number 1 pick. A team in the play-in got the number 1 pick. So there's nothing guaranteed about tanking out just to get the number 1 pick. It's the stupidest fucking strategy, and you get in trouble with the NBA for doing it at this point. So yeah, I don't get this, man. I don't get this. Boss Tech saying, "Hey, I seen RJ go right so many times the last game." That's new. You know, he really is a go-to left guy. When he was doing the right side a little bit. I noticed that too, Boss Take. I've forgotten about saying something about that. Yeah, I noticed that too. It's interesting. Stargate saying, winning or losing this particular night is not going to affect you getting more or less talent in any way. So the whole we need talent argument for losing this game is nonsensical. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, this is 1 game out of 82. When we win this game, we'll go to 9 wins. And let me just say this, Jay. These guys need wins, just mentally. Up here, it really drags you down, and it really makes it hard. And, you know, Darko's doing a really good job of keeping them together and not turning on each other. They're staying communicative, and they're staying, like, as a team. And they're also staying hungry. They're still putting good effort out there. They didn't, albeit around Christmas, when they're getting blown out by teams and looking really, really bad. But in the game against Cleveland and the game against Milwaukee this week, both those games, they showed an increased effort from the past poor efforts in the last month or so. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And some of that, once again, around Christmas was fatigue and being ill. RJ was literally throwing up before he took the court for one of the games right around Christmas. He tried to go and play in the game. He went to shoot around out in the court. He ran to the back, holding his mouth because he's throwing up in the garbage can 10 minutes before tip-off. So it's like, seriously. I mean, y'all can be casuals and not pay close attention to this, but if you come and watch my channel every day, you can hear every single detail of what's going on with the Raptors and be in the know for why things are going the way they are and understanding it a little bit better in a more educated way than just looking at an 8-30 record and saying, "Oh, we suck. We just need to lose all the rest of our games for the rest of the year." No, that's not good for your mental health. It's not good for mine, and it's not good for Grady Dick's. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. That's what I got to say about that. That's right. That's right. Jay is nonsensical. No, it's sad. It's not that he's nonsensical. He has a sense to what he's saying. I get it. But it doesn't work that way, Jay, is what I'm trying to tell you. Maybe the NBA worked like that 10 years ago, but this is a new NBA, and Adam Silver is constantly changing the rules. And casual NBA fans, casual Raptors fans ain't going to keep up with the changing of the rules and the salary cap and what you can and can't do and draft picks and shit like that. I don't expect y'all to have an educated opinion on this in a smart way. Atlanta got the first pick last year. Where did they finish, Jay? That's all I'm going to say about this. That's why your logic sucks, man. Yeah, he's saying, don't speak on my mentality, brother. You don't know me, brother. You're right, I don't know you. But you know me, and you should know the Raptors streak is anti-tanking. And that's all I'll say on that again. Yeah, I'll speak on your mentality. I don't give a shit. I'm a crazy motherfucker who lives out in the woods in Canada. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. I don't give a shit about having people here. I don't care. You see my subscriptions? I'm not trying to please everyone. So if you don't fall in line with what we're talking about here, well, I will go after you like this. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Maybe I'm a little harsh. But we have no tolerance for tank commanders here. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Trevor J saying, Lex, is your family okay? Winter storm hit Atlanta and freezing rain. Yeah, I was talking to my dad yesterday. He said it was snowing in Atlanta yesterday. It's weird. Like the snow dipped down and took a lot of the eastern coast. Meanwhile, it's on fire in the west coast. It's such a fire and ice kind of country right now down there. Yeah, I think they're all right. I mean, they're used to it. They lived in Manitoba for decades. Not decades. Maybe my mother lived in Manitoba for decades. My father lived there for college. So they're used to this. I mean, they're Canadian. So they should be all right. But I think everything's okay there. Yeah, I don't think there's any problems. Smith saying OKC like a hot knife through butter against New York. Yeah. Woo. I love that. Yeah. Stargate saying, ban this dude, Lex. I might. We'll have to see. He's saying, all right, Jay, you are gone out of line with this one. And I'm going to just say this, Jay, you know what, man? It's too bad that you're a loser. And you got a loser mentality about losing with the Raptors. And that's all I'll say. You low IQ. And if you don't understand what I'm saying about why tanking does not work anymore in this league, well, you're going to have to watch more NBA. And maybe someday you'll get it. Maybe it'll click. Maybe in like 10 years from now. Oh, damn, Raptor Street was right. Tanking is stupid. I should have never said that we should do that. So, yeah, you're gone, bro. I'm sorry, man. And you know what? That is out of line. That is out of line. I would never talk about your mother, is what I'm saying right there. That's right. All right, let's see. Wayne saying our turnovers tend to happen at the worst time when that play would have positive momentum for us. We're playing well, and then consecutive brain farts by one of the core ends in turnovers. Please stop. I can kind of agree with you, Wayne, because I see what you're saying, and this is late game execution stuff. Like I said, with the Cleveland game on Thursday night, we had a chance to win that game. There were like certain possessions where you have to take care of things and execute and make sure you make baskets. And we did not. There were maybe high pressure situations where Darius Garland and other Cavs were ratcheting up their defensive intensity and making it very hard for us to operate on offense. That is part of the reason why those turnovers may be happening, is because we're playing against a playoff team that's proven, and they know what they're doing late in the game, and they have experience ratcheting up last 5-minute kind of stuff. The problem is our team has not had enough experience as a group in last minute, 5-minute kind of hurry up, crazy, frenetic. You got to play perfect and execute as far as making baskets and getting stops. And that's part of the problem right now, Wayne. That's it right there. It's not necessarily that they're bad at making decisions. It's just that the defense and the other team is coming at that time against them in a way that's a lot more powerful and tough to deal with in some ways. So that's what I would say about that one. It's not, those guys are really smart with a lot of things, but yeah, they can be stupid and make some dumb mistakes when the pressure is a little bit more intense. But they got to learn, because that's not going to get any easier. The pressure just only goes up every level you achieve in the NBA. It just goes up all the way up to the finals. That pressure in the finals, playing in that kind of game with execution and getting stops. Oh my gosh, that is so tough. And that's why it's kind of special that the Raptors went on such a run in 2019 to get all the way to the top, because honestly, in some ways the staircase going up, the escalator, it ends with losing in the Eastern Conference Finals before you actually get to winning in the finals. Most teams that get that chance, like the Magic, they've been in the finals twice. They've not won a championship. There's a lot of teams that have gotten the Eastern Conference Finals, not gotten past it. There's a lot of that. And the fact that the Raptors went all the way and won the championship in the finals, that's special, because they went through all the levels of intensity with pressure, and they were successful that year. And that is a real testament to that team, seriously. Smith saying, I see Chris Boucher traded to Houston or San Antonio, Jock Londell or Zach Collins as the people traded for. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, Chris is better than both those players, but in some ways, Zach Collins is more of a true center. But, Spurs fans are pissed at him right now. They hate Zach Collins right now. They want him gone so bad because he's just playing a certain way, and they hate him right now. Jock Landale is a better idea, though. I kind of like him better in some ways in this idea. Jock Landale has been a very annoying player. Not only in the NBA, he was an annoying player on the FIBA this past summer too, wasn't he? He's on Australia, right? He was annoying at the Olympics. So I like Jock Landale. If we're going to make a deal, let's make it with Houston. How about that? Andrew's here. Good morning, Raptors Freak. Rookie of the Year, Andrew. Morning, folks. Scotty will show Cade why he's the better player tonight, and we will get the W. Let's go. Yeah, that's going to be a fun matchup. That's a matchup we should highlight. Cade Cunningham versus Scotty Barnes, best friends. And man, there's so much fun in competition like that. Scotty has different people around the league that he's very close with. That on the download, there are like little competitions going on the download privately between him and Jalen Suggs, him and Jalen Green, him and Day'Ron Sharp, him and Cade Cunningham. These are like his dudes, his very close friends around the league on other teams. And Cade is one of his very best friends. So yeah, it's a little special when Cunningham's against Barnes. And forget about the Rookie of the Year talk about who deserved it that year and stuff like that. Scotty got it. Scotty deserved it. Cade's a great player, though. And he's really blossomed this year in a healthy year for him. So, I can get that's what I'll say right there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Kaz is saying, stand on business, Lex. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, look, Jay, you're probably you really do love the Raptors, but you don't love them like I do. That's what I'm going to say right now. Yeah. Kaz is saying, that's why you're a Raptor freak. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to alienate Raptors fans because they have that in their heart like I do. But in some ways, I can't stand this kind of mentality. I mean, seriously, you should not be wishing the Raptors lose the whole rest of the season right now, Raptors fans. If that is your priority and you want, just stop watching them. Just go do something else with your life. We'll watch them and we'll root them on to try and get them victories still in the hard, arduous time that's not easy. And you soft ass motherfuckers can go and do crochet with your life or some shit otherwise. How about that? How about that? We'll watch the games. We'll take the lumps. We'll take the L's. We'll be grown up about it. We'll be methodical and thinking about it and trying to figure out how to deal with it. And y'all can go and ignore it and just be casuals and say, why are we winning? We should be losing. That's the thing I can't stand, man. I can't stand that. Smooth saying Jack Landell on an expiring deal for money purposes. That might be the way to go. It sounds really good to me. I mean, because this is the thing. This is a guy, unlike Bruce Brown, who I'm finding out is not been worth this trade at all. Is a guy that you're going to get good worth in the short term while he's on your team, even if you flip him around and don't have him after the summer. Like if we made this trade, Jock Landell could come to the Raptors and actually really fill in some big man minutes for us and help us. And if we don't keep him after this offseason, it's not a big deal. So it's like a good payoff. It's like what Spoon's saying here as far as an expiring deal. And he can be very productive and helpful in the short term as far as the skills that he offers. So, yeah, I like it. I like that idea a lot. A big thumb up on that. Not so much on the Zach Collins Spurs idea, though. Yeah, Andrew saying Shed was great against the Cavs. He really took the backup point guard role from Davion and ran with it. Yeah, he did. In some ways, that's crazy. I mean, I'm a big fan of Davion's, and I still think Davion should be higher than him on the depth chart. But you know, games like that for Shed, they make it like that for sure. They make it like that for sure. You know what? Yeah, the game in New York was so bad though, so bad in New York. But the game in Cleveland was way better for Shed. Way better, way better. Yeah. Nako's here. Nako the Nacho is in Detroit, guys. He has gone across the border as a Raptor fan to go to the game tonight. He will be in the arena. He's been known to go to Detroit games for the Raptors, jump the border sometimes. He's saying, at this point in time, I would not consider Wemby overhyped. That being said, Spurs ain't built to win in the playoffs. Maybe in 2 years they'll win the West. Well, I'm saying within relativeness. Like, all right, the way they talked about Wembanyama before the draft, before anything, was just overhyped. It's so overhyped. And seriously, and then when he showed up and had his rookie year, he was kind of a disappointment because to me, I thought, well, this is the thing. When we've had rookies like this come in the history of the NBA where they are so overhyped, LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, you know, they make huge impacts in their rookie year. And they're kind of already kind of like, yeah, wow, they're amazing. And they're going to be really, really good. In some ways, Victor didn't show that. In some ways, he was such a project in his first season. And he had a lot of flaws. And he didn't add up to winning. You know, that's what I'm kind of saying right there. Like all these young players that get overhyped, like Cooper Flagg and Victor Wembanyama. And last year they wouldn't even really have any because there wasn't really any top star that was number one for sure. You know, they build everybody up and make them think this and this. But the reality when they come, half the time they're still project or they have no idea how to play in the NBA right away. And that's the thing I'm saying. Sometimes the number one picks in the 80s and the 90s, those dudes came in and they were like their franchise player and they played like that at the beginning. And some of these guys that they're overhyping are not like that. They're not like that. You know, you got to think about the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan got drafted to the Bulls in like the fourth pick. It was very like third or fourth pick. And he didn't have success right away at the beginning, but he scored a lot. His team didn't win, but he was still scoring like 30 points. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I think that Victor's going to come through and be a very generational player, but I still feel like the noise around him, how much of it and just how much they were saying was overblown, honestly. Seriously. And I just think it's because they just wanted to market him and really shove him down our throats and really make him a big name as soon as possible. Is what it is. Blackhawk saying, what's up, Raptor Streaks? What's up, Neil? Hope you're having a good time. You're out in California. I hope you're being safe. And, of course, you're south of the fires, which is good. That's good. Yeah. What up, Neil? What up, Neil? What up? What up? Stargate saying, don't say sorry to people like these, Lex. Okay, Stargate. These young punks playing internet Batman. Whole lot of them be in the spaces too. Yeah, I mean, this is a safe space, Jay. If you came in here to be like Zazu Spaces, you ain't gonna get that here, man. I'm sorry. We're a little bit more in tune. We're not as immature. And in some ways, we're not going to say stupid out of pocket, dumbass shit just to be controversial or be funny or something like that. No, we're serious. And we do have our passions and our feelings about the Raptors in the right place. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's different subsections of Raptors fans. There's ones that are real ones that are like Raptors freaks like us. Then there's fans that are kind of casual fans who may be more a Leaf fan or a Blue Jays fan. They could also be general NBA fan, but they live in Toronto and they kind of say, yeah, well, Toronto's my team, but I kind of root for the Warriors too. You know, there's a lot of that kind of shit. And if you're not number one Raptors in a Raptor freak way like us, well, sometimes you're not going to fit in here. It's just how it is. I try to say I'm sorry to people because I'm Canadian. That's part of it right there. Kaz is saying, I wouldn't mind picking up Jacques Liddell. He would be a cheap option, I feel like. I know. He's been fantastic. He's in Houston. But there's too many centers there. They got Steven Adams. They got Sengun. You know, he's kind of at the end. If he came to Toronto, he'd get more playing time. He'd probably take the spot from Kelly, honestly, because he's a lot more active and he has more quicker feet than Kelly does right now. Yeah. Yeah, Kaz saying we still have 4 games against the Wizards. If you think we're going to lose all 4, you're crazy. Yeah. Yeah, we got to get all our Wizards games in. All of our games against we have not played the horrible teams as much. Like Hornets, we have not played those teams as much. They've really gave us the hardest schedule to start the season. And we weathered it and we did what we did. I mean, I think in some ways, in hindsight, we did better at the beginning of the season than I thought. And I thought we were doing horrible because we've gone through so much worse since. So it's tough. It's tough, man. And yeah, you're crazy if you're going to lose every single game going out. No, we ain't doing that. No, we ain't doing that. That's right. Cass saying, Lex, just got a notification the Hawks versus Rockets game is postponed tonight due to weather. Okay, so maybe I do need to check in with my folks after this and make sure they're all right. Now, you know, they have a condo downtown and they don't have to go anywhere or drive anywhere if they don't want to. So that's a factor that's going to be helpful for them if there is serious snow weather there. So they can just hunker down and be okay. Wayne saying, I appreciate our development, but hate when we don't play to teammates' strengths. Case in point, Draymond does not shoot if Steph is available. The way we're playing now, we would ignore Steph and shoot. You know, I see this as something that is tough to, like, I mean, I get it, and I get this criticism. There's guys on our team that have very specific skills, and you want to see them use them. And if it makes sense, if Grady's over on the side and they're ignoring him, and like there's a lot of defensive coverage where the ball is, why wouldn't you swing it to Grady on the outside and let him get an open 3? Yeah, there are opportunities that you're seeing on the court that aren't getting executed on. Some of it's reading them. Some of them is trusting your teammates. Some of them is just getting to know each other more familiar, like knowing each other's tendencies and knowing like what works and maybe sometimes trying stuff. And wow, that really worked really well. We'll continue to practice this and do this more. You know, there's a lot of discovery going on with the Raptors in general. You know, we can look at a piece of paper and say, this is the Raptors on the roster. But if they're not healthy, they're not there most of the time. Well, the gelling and the understanding of each other has been postponed. And a lot of it is centered around Emmanuel right now because Emmanuel has barely played for the Raptors this season. He played a bit last year, but in some ways, think about who he was playing with last year. It was like Jordan Nwora, Mohamedou Gay, Javon Freeman Liberty, and all kinds of other fill-in guys that aren't on this team. It's like even the change from the second half of the last season to the team that we're on right now is very different. So there's a new orientation and a new gelling, new people and new faces. And Emmanuel, in some ways, because he's played only a handful of games this season, he's behind. He's behind because he started his season around New Year's. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that that's going on. We may be able to see it easier watching the game because of our perspective. And in some ways, the young players in the middle of it, we're like, oh, that's so easy. Why wouldn't they just do this with RJ there right then? We could easily do that from the outside perspective. But in some ways, the guys in the heat of the battle and what they're doing, they have to make split-second decisions. They may not see it exactly. But then in the tape, after the game, they're learning from Darko and they're saying, you missed an opportunity when you should have did this. I think there's a lot of that that's happening with our team right now. That when they do tape days, there's a lot of the right decision for what you should have done there was dump it off to Grady, let him take a three. That may be happening a lot more than you think, Wayne. That's why a team that's been together for 5 years, well, they really know all that kind of tendency and stuff like that, and where the sweet spots are for people to get them the ball so that they make baskets successfully. That's part of rebuilding and the chemistry and stuff. I know you know that, Wayne, but I feel like that's what it is right now. Is it's a lot of that kind of stuff gets fixed in tape. And also, they just maybe missing the opportunities somewhat because they're young and they don't realize there's opportunities to take. I think about this all the time when I watch Shamshay on the 905. That, he's, since the beginning of the season, he's had different levels of awareness of opportunities that a man like him with his talent and his size could take. And he's not taking them because he doesn't recognize them. There's very good opportunities for him to score or try and go get a shot block or go get this rebound, but sometimes he's asleep or sometimes he's just not picking up what he should be doing at that moment, but he's going to learn. He's only 19. And that's something we got to remember. Like, it's crazy. You can look at Shamshay's body and say, damn, he's going to be so good. And he was really good last night. But he doesn't know exactly. And sometimes he has to discover and learn the opportunities and then learn how to go and take advantage of them every time he recognizes them. And that's a part of it right there with a young rebuild, that aspect of things. Trevor's saying Raptors young players do not understand how to close in 4 quarters. It's a very young team of rookies is now getting that savviness to hold off their opponents. Yeah, Trevor's saying it like they need practice as young players to play in high stakes, high pressure situations in the NBA and what it takes to be successful. And the more they practice that, the better they'll get at that. Yeah, Cass is saying, let's go, Gerald. I better hear you from the TV. That's right. Defense, every time the Pistons have the ball, and even if the Pistons fans around you are looking at you like you're crazy, do it. Just do it. There might be enough Raptors fans near you that they'll join in with you, and we'll take over Little Caesars Arena. Now, it's not likely because it's kind of flipped the history of how this goes down. The Pistons are 500. There's maybe a little bit more enthusiasm for the Pistons team because they're kind of somewhat successful this season. And they may have better attendance. So Raptors fans going to the game may not be in as big in numbers. Like, how many people are going to cross the border and go to the extent that Gerald has today with the 8-30 team? So that's what I'm wondering about today. Gerald may not have very many Raptor allies in that building tonight, like in the past. Because maybe some people aren't Raptor freaks like Gerald and they're going to cross the border because the Raptors suck so bad. I mean, I could see that. So it could be a little different in there. It could be a little bit more pro Pistons right now because there's a little bit more enthusiasm for them right now. Yeah, I love that he's going there. That's such a real one, man. Neil's saying, I can finally watch the games again. I'm stoked. Go Raptors. You couldn't watch them over on the West Coast. That's too bad, man. It's too bad. That is how it is. Carlos saying, morning, Lex and fellow freak. I smell a 9th win coming. I feel it too, man. This is a trap game for Detroit. They can feel confident. They can look at our record. They've beaten us a couple times already this season. And I hate this, man. It's such a sign of where things are in the league now that, it's not Casey's revenge that's beating us with Detroit. No, it's not Coach Casey getting fired by us and going to Detroit and kicking our ass in the years after. No. This is actually legitimately built up team that's hitting new levels of playing better from being a very poorly bottom 5 team for the last few years. And they switched places with us. I think that's such a good thing to distinguish is that they're where we were, a 500 team, and now we're in the cellar where they were. And it's kind of crazy. Well, in some ways, trap game. Let's go surprise them. And let's go play a little bit better against a somewhat young team also. That's the thing. That's the other thing. Their average age is not super high either for Detroit. No, it's not. And that's why we can kind of, maybe compete with them and play at a certain level with them better than maybe the Celtics or the Cavs. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's see. Wayne saying Shed plays because front office wants him development over runs for Davion. Oshai healthy. Boucher ain't playing. Kind of obvious. Yeah, it really is that like Davion's a free agent at this summer and he's an optional, but Shed has a future path with the Raptors as a draft pick. And that's the investment. I totally agree with you. That's what it is. It's the shed. And you know what? He's the right one in some ways to invest in this way. He's very, very smart. And he could go in the lineage of Fred and Kyle. We just skipped Flynn. And Shed may actually be the next great Raptors point guard, just like Freddie or Kyle Lowry. And that's why the investment is in him, is because in some ways we wanted him to speed up and put the time in there. And meanwhile, Davion Mitchell's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and we have to decide whether we want to bring him back. And we may not want to. We may not want to. This may be a 1 year of Mitchell on the Raptors. We don't know. We don't know. We'll have to see. Stargate saying, wait, same here, bro. In my opinion, they're not being coached as such. The system that's currently in place isn't conducive to using the specific individual skills of players that will lead winning chances, in my honest opinion. Darko, it's weird because I understand people want to criticize Darko, and I will with little specific things, but in general, I can't do it because in some ways, the method to his madness has a long-term look to it. And some of the stuff that doesn't make any sense to us right now, because it's like, oh, well, the obvious thing would be to do this instead because it would be easier. Well, maybe there's a reason why he's making them do opposite or something different, because there's a whole scheme for the long term. And that he wants them to do harder stuff that maybe looks worse and isn't as successful, but that's the way they get better, and they're able to do that stuff long term in certain ways. I don't know. I see what you guys are saying, though. There are opportunities that are not getting picked up on, and also, one of the criticisms that people have of Darko is sometimes play calling, and why does he play this, or why doesn't he set up this or does that? We've seen evidence of both him being very successful at that and evidence of him being not good at it too. I like to think of earlier in the season, a lot of the inbounds plays for Grady were just masterfully drawn up for him to get an easy basket coming around screens. There's been some plays that he did, especially earlier in the season, not as much lately. It's a little bit more broken up. And also teams have scouted the Raptors offense a little bit better, and they're making us adjust, and we're not doing it as smoothly as we did at the beginning of the season. There definitely is a long-term vision that we can't see or understand in the short term right now, and it may confuse some of this. That's what I would say. Some people are just willing to say, yeah, Darko's a horrible play call coach and we should fire him. I'm not willing to say that because there's been enough times where he has shown a very successful executed play after a timeout that he set up for the team. It may not be happening as much in the late game situations where we're seeing play call execution in a way that's absolutely fantastic and successful, but it doesn't mean he's not setting them up with stuff. And I get it. I get what you guys are saying, and I'm with you to an extent. It's just that we got to be careful because it's a slippery slope into like, yeah, I hate my coach and I want to fire him because he doesn't call things right or he doesn't do this. In some ways, we have to remember there's a long-term vision and that he has, and he may be building towards that and not necessarily short-term gains. Does that make sense? Kaz saying, I missed the 905 game last night. I was looking at the box score and saw Prince Shamshay made another three. Yeah, it was ridiculous. All right, let's do the reaction to the 905 game last night. It's actually really fun. Yeah, Shamshay shot that three, and it was so crazy because he really got a really good shooter's bounce on it. It wasn't going to go in, but it went woo, woo, and then it dropped through, and it didn't look like it was going to because it really was up high and going all over the place on the top of the rim. And it was like it went in. I was like, wow, he got a shooter's bounce. That's a lucky shot by Shamshay when he made his three. It's a very, very lucky shot. But it was kind of like Kawhi bounce-esque too, which was weird. It was really crazy when he made that three, seriously. All right, yeah, my stars of the game for the 905 victory in overtime against the Maine Celtics last night. Celtics fans were in the chat with us. They were disappointed. One guy was really hyping them up in there, and we're just kind of sitting back watching them. And yeah, and then the David guys in there giving us the score breakdown and stuff like that always. And the other thing was the YouTube stream was horrible last night. Horrible. In fact, in the last 5 minutes of the game, it was spinning out over and over again for everybody. And we had to keep refreshing. And there were huge chunks of sequences at the end of the game that we did not get to watch through YouTube because the infrastructure of YouTube was so poor. And it was just not getting the bandwidth. and it was just skipping and getting spinny screens. Everybody was complaining about it in the chat. Everybody. And then Blake Murphy started talking about, well, y'all don't even know. And he's being an old timer. In my day, I used to have to watch the G League games only on Facebook video, and there was no replay, and you had to catch it live. And if you didn't, you're in trouble. And you had to try and clip stuff out from it too while it was live in it. It's like Blake talking about how horrible it was to watch G League before they put the games on YouTube. And he's right. But still unacceptable, YouTube, how much spinniness the game stream had last night, especially at the last 5 minutes. It's like you were hiding up crazy shit. And all of a sudden, J.D. Davison hits a 3 to tie the game and put it in overtime. It's like it skipped. And then all of a sudden, we see that one part. It's crazy. My star of the game, number one star, is Eugene Omoruyi, the 10-day contract. He didn't start. He came off the bench, 26 minutes, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 4 of 5 at the free throw line. And one of those missed free throws was at the very end of the game. His missed free throw was at the very end of the game. When he could have iced the game, he had 2 shots to do it. He missed the first one, but he made the second one. Thank God. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 4 turnovers, a -7, 20 points in 26 minutes. Yeah, Eugene was just really active. He's out there playing with joy, and I'm just really proud of him. Yeah, good job, Canadian Draymond Green. You did a really good job last night, icing the game with the key free throw at the end, but just being very active. And heck, he got 20 points on 8 shots. That's pretty incredible, honestly. He got 20 points on only 8 field goal attempts. Really, really good. Second star of the game is Jamison Battle, who started in the starting lineup. 33 minutes for Jamison, 13 points, 5 of 6 from the field. Very good shooting. 3 of 4 from 3. He got 3 rebounds, 2 assists, +6. So Jamison Battle, for his fine, outstanding 3-point shooting, very money, very professional. Kudos to you. Second star of the game. But only 13 points. That goes to show you it's a very spread out game for the 905 yesterday. My third star is Shamshay. Shamshay off the bench. Fantastic game. Although his plus-minus is kind of bad. Otherwise, man, he's getting more and more stats. He's being more aggressive. Listen, this is the thing I've decided about Shamshay. He has a defensive presence, and he does have the kind of ability to be a problem for a team's offenses like Wemby or Koloko. We're feeling that kind of pressure all of a sudden now recently, and I'm kind of mad at Drew Jones because late in the game, he's not playing Shamshay, partly because he's inexperienced and so young, and he could screw things up in a very high-pressure situation. But he needs those situations. I think he's ready for it. And the other thing is Andrew Jones. You're passing up such a great defensive weapon because it really is different. The 905 are different when Ulrich is playing and when he's not. They actually have a paint presence, and it's harder for the other team to score. So Andrew Jones, late in games, when you have the lead and the team's below you, you need to put him in for a defensive substitution because he will help you get stops better. And that's annoying me, man. You're not playing Shamshay in pressure situations or high stakes moments at the end of the game. You're benching him for a different unit at the end of the game. And I think there's folly in that. Even if you did a defense-offense substitution for him, like you took a shooter like Jamison and used him as the offensive sub for him to be the defensive sub when you guys got to play defense and rebound, I would do that because he's already having more and more of an impact of having a floor protection, kind of rim protector kind of feel. And when he was in the game last night, there's a different feel for our defense when he is not. It's very much a very, very stark difference is what I can see now. Shamshay, 24 minutes, 6 of 10 from the field. He's being more aggressive trying to shoot, and he's having a lot of success. Some of this stuff is offensive rebound and him collecting the ball and putting it back in. Some of it is a goofy-ass 3 that he maybe shouldn't have took, but he was lucky and he made it still. Yeah, there's he's interesting, man. He is so interesting. You know, as much as he screws up, as much as he doesn't see opportunities, like I was saying earlier, there's some really crazy, gifted, talented things he's doing also that makes you realize his potential is off the charts, is what I'm saying right now. 3 offensive rebounds for Shamshay, 8 all together, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 2 turnovers, a -13 with 13 points in 24 minutes. Yeah, Shamshay, man, you're my prince, bro. You were a badass last night. Keep striving. In fact, in the last few G League games where we've been successful, Shamshay's been a star of the game. And they're 3-2, and Shamshay's more prominent in the lineup and what he's doing. That has a factor in why they're 3-2 in this season right now so far. Yeah, Shamshay, awesome, man, so awesome. Those blocks are awesome. 4th star of the game is Frank Kaminsky. Yeah, the trolls were back in the chat again last night. This guy wasn't going after Mobo this time, though. This idiot, he was going after Kaminsky. And there was 2 guys in there, Raptors fans, who I guess they hate themselves. And it manifests into hating Frank Kaminsky. Because I don't understand why you're so mad at Frank Kaminsky. They just make fun of him. Like, he screws up. Honestly, Frank Kaminsky was actually really good for the Raptors 905 last night on the down low. But you casuals, you go ahead and judge him for missing bunnies and being a tall, goofy white guy. Yeah. Nah, listen, Frank Kaminsky's been solid for us so far. He has not scored in every game but he has had a monster game for the Raptors 905, his debut, where he scored like 30-plus points and made a bunch of threes. So, yeah, I can't down on him. 30 minutes for Kaminsky, 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, made both his free throws, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, a plus 24 with 13 points in 30 minutes. If Kaminsky's selling and making us lose, like these idiots were saying in the chat, oh, he's on the Maine Celtics side. He's trying to help them. No, Bruce Brown's trying to help the other side. That's obvious. But Kaminsky's not trying to do that, because why would he be a plus 24 at the end of the game, the highest plus minus out of all the Raptors 905 last night? If that guy's selling to the Celtics and on the download trying to help them win. No, bullshit. Bullshit. Frank Kaminsky had a good game last night, and his plus minus is why? Plus 24. The Raptors 905 outscored the Celtics plus 24 when Frank was on the court. So casuals in the chat last night, there's your stat for the game right there. Boom goes the dynamite. My next star and last star of the game is Jonathan Mobo. Yeah, Jonathan started once again. Jonathan's doing what he does for the Raptors on the 905 level, and it's probably at the same level too. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that Jonathan doesn't increase his numbers on 905 as much because he's getting more things. No, he's just doing it at the same level at the 905. Very much the glue guy, very much a guy who's doing a lot of different things, being active, getting all the different stats, but still not going crazy and scoring a whole lot, kind of doing the same level of output as he would in the NBA. So it's kind of weird to me. I thought that, going to the G League, it's a lesser talent, that he should blow up and maybe be like Chris Boucher down there, but it's not happening. Jonathan Mobo is very much playing the same level at both levels. It's crazy. 31 minutes for J-Mo, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. He did hit a 3 last night. 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 3 offensive rebounds, 9 altogether, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, plus 5 with 11 points. See, that's what I'm saying. He only got 11 points. The opportunities are there, Jonathan, if you want to expand your offense in 905. And while you're down there, you may want to try some stuff. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, Jonathan is a weird player, and I like him a lot, man. And he's very smart and he's very versatile, but there may be a ceiling to what he can do. Just so y'all know, there may be a ceiling for what he can do. Yeah, those are my stars of the game. Honorable mention to Jarrett Roden, who actually was one of the leading scorers for the game last night. But he annoyed me because he had 5 turnovers and he was very high usage, but he wasn't as efficient as he could be. Jarrett Roden, 37 minutes, 7 of 16, 1 of 5 from 3. 4 of 5 from free throw, 3 offensive rebounds with 8 rebounds altogether, 7 assists, 2 steals, 5 turnovers, a plus 1 with 20 points in 37 minutes. I should have probably made him one of the stars. But the 5 turnovers pissed me off, is what I'm saying. AJ Lawson in the starting lineup, 32 minutes, 3 of 12 from the field, just shot too poorly for him to be a star. 0 of 3 from 3, 4 of 7 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers for AJ, plus 4 with 13 points in 32 minutes. Yeah, I expect more from AJ, although he's aggressive. He's a go-to guy. And in some ways, Drew Jones used him as a bucket getter. When we need a bucket, he's a go-to guy. And they try and give him the ball. But I think that AJ's got to slow down a bit. I think he's trying too hard, and he's going all out too much. And he needs to let the game come to him and kind of go in the flow of the game. I think he's a little too hurried up right now. It's kind of what's going on with Lawson. Quincy Guerriere. A little bit better last night. He's been recently 3 of 7 from the field, missed both the threes, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, A -7 with 7 points in 18 minutes off the bench. Kennedy Chandler, still being Kennedy Chandler, calling his own number and forcing the ball and turning it over, missing a shot. 3 of 7 for him also. 3 players were 3 of 7 last night. 2 rebounds, 7 assists, 0 turnovers. I like that. He was being more of a point guard. So I got to give you credit for that. Only 6 points for Kennedy off the bench. And Evan Gilliard, 13 minutes, 2 of 6, 1 of 2 from 3, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, a +2 with 5 points in 13 minutes. Yeah, it's a nice overall team effort. We got 7 guys in double digits for the 905, and that's good. They've been very much like the Raptors in that sense where we just didn't have enough guys scoring points. A lot of guys doing cardio and getting like 4 points, even though they played 20 minutes. And, well, the Raptors 905 filled it up a little bit better last night, and we saw a nice balance scoring with 7 guys in double digits. And that's good. Nobody really going too crazy. Just 2 20-point scorers as the leaders. On the other side, I'll give some shine to the Maine Celtics. 25 points for J.D. Davis. And he had a fantastic shot to tie the game up right at the end of regulation and send it to the Elam ending. Yeah, I think Davison has been in the G League for so long that he is the most games played as a Maine Celtic in the history of that G League franchise. And honestly, the Celtics fans that were in the chat were saying, just give the ball to JD and stop screwing around. They were getting kind of mad about that. Another name that was big was off the bench, Jay Scrubb, not related to Thomas and Phillip on Team Canada, came out there and lit it up off the bench. 8 of 19, 23 points, a +6. Yeah, he was really good, Jay Scrubb. And also a little bit of note for Baylor Shearman. They really love him too, those Celtics fans. He was kind of annoying with his goofy, like kind of making shots and doing stuff here and there. So, yeah, there were some good players on the Celtics last night against us. We're going to play them again tonight, and we're going to try and have to improve and make sure we are ready for their adjustments because I'm sure they may adjust things. So last night on the team stats, the Raptors 905 shot 47%, and the Celtics shot 44%. They had the same amount of field goal attempts. They both made the same amount of threes, 11 threes for both teams. Now, the Raptors did it on 10 less shots. So they shot 41% to the 30% that the Maine Celtics shot. At the free throw line, they got 3 more free throw attempts, but we made 8. We made just 1 less than them. 75% free throw shooting, very, very good. The 905 are taking a dedication to the free throw shooting better in the regular season than in the Showcase Cup part in last year. So I appreciate the improvement on free throw stuff for Andrew Jones 905ers. And maybe it's partly because we've turned over and gotten rid of a bunch of guys. And that's why. Of course, last night, Brendan Carlson did not come and play for the Raptors because the Raptors 905 because Oklahoma City turned around, put him on a 10-day contract yesterday after a stream. And he will be put on a 10-day contract, according to Blake Murphy, a second time. So he's not going to be coming back to the 905 anytime soon. So don't hold your breath for Brandon Carlson, y'all. Don't hold your breath. The Maine Celtics out-rebounded us by 1, just 1 rebound more, but we got 1 more offensive rebound than them. 31 assists for 905s, fantastic. 13 stocks. They had 17, though, with 11 steals. Turnovers exactly even. This is a very even game, the game last night in Maine. 58 points in the paint to 54 points in the paint for them. Yeah, good stuff, 905. Now, can you duplicate that tonight? Can you beat the Maine Celtics 2 nights in a row in their own building? It's a good feat. And, every victory is nice for Raptors fans right now. I know I felt it real nice last night when y'all got that victory in overtime last night. That was a little treat for the Raptor freaks and Raptors fans that were in the YouTube watching it last night. That was a little treat. Yeah, it was very much a treat. It's very, very cool. Let's see. Stargate saying Shed is being evaluated. Yeah, for sure. For sure he's being evaluated. Let me see. Oh, it jumped ahead. There are a few point guards in the draft, including a 6'9" one. Like I said yesterday, after the big 3 in the draft, it's 3 point guards, Igor, Fears, and Kasparis, that are up next. Okay, so that's like the top 6. You guys are educating me on the draft and helping me understand kind of the hierarchy. I appreciate this, Stargate. In fact, I'm going to give you a dunk for being helpful with me kind of understanding where Fears and all them kind of are in the rankings. Because I'm dumb. I should just go do the research on this. But in some ways, I enjoy learning from you guys about the draft more. 6 dunks for you. That's your second dunk of the year, Stargate, for being helpful. Let's see. Neil saying, I'm going to have to watch last night's 905 game. Thanks, Kaz. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's fun. I mean, it's a high tempo game. Both teams are shooting well, especially in the first half. The first quarter, they really shot well. It kind of cooled off in the middle. But yeah, it's an entertaining game, and we win. And that's the fun part at the end. But it's very close. It's a very drag them out kind of close game. Yeah, Cass saying Ulrich with the shooter's bounce. Let's go. Yeah, it was weird. It was silly. It really kind of woo, and then fell through. And yeah, it was a goofy shot. I was happy to see it, but yeah, it was cool. Carlos saying NBA moves fast. Those plays at the beginning of the season have been scouted out. They body Grady every possible moment without fouls. It's so crazy. Yeah, yeah, that was yeah, that's totally true. That's totally true. The scouts come out, the adjustments have to happen all the time. And that's why you have to have a very multi-talented, versatile team. Because if you're a one-trick pony and they figure out your trick, well, you ain't doing jack shit anymore in the league in a winning way. So that's why Darko's got to constantly be refreshing our offensive system to give new wrinkles to it so that it keeps other teams' defensive schemes guessing. Right there. Boom goes at dynamite. Kaz saying, I saw Eugene waving by to the crowd. Yeah, he was awesome at the end of the game. Those fans were kind of pissed. Yeah, they were kind of pissed. And Buddy, who was in the chat with us that was really rooting for the Maine Celtics, was very gracious at the end. Good game, guys. You deserve to win. You won by one. Good job. You know, he didn't rub it in that his team is the champions right now and our team sucks in the main NBA level. He was very gracious. But he was really rooting on them. He was crazy. It's crazy. I was like, dude, you need to go to the Maine Celtics game if you're such a Maine Celtics fan. My guy, yeah, you need to go. I go to 905. That's right. That's right. Wayne's saying Darko is great for this group of Raptors. His rotations are geared towards developing different cores to play together. We're witnessing developing at its hardest. Players' errors are theirs, not Darko's. Yeah, that's part of it too. It's hard for us to see Darko's system if the players are the ones who are screwing it up. And that's always been true. Like, I think that's one of the sad things in the NBA is the coaches get blamed, even if the players could sabotage the coach on the down low. This shit happens in the NBA's history where players have mutiny on the down low. They don't really like their coach anymore, and they may play shittier just to try and get fired. That's what I'm saying. That's not what's happening here. This is just ineptitude because they don't understand what to do in certain situations, and it's because of our average age of players on our team. It's like that. Yeah. Yeah. Stargate saying at Lex, you'll never ever hear me say an NBA player is trash or sucks. And you'll never hear me calling for a coach to be fired. So my criticism will never turn into that. I appreciate that pledge. It's not totally necessary, Stargate. I want you to be as completely honest and upfront about how you feel about things. And even if this is the thing. Once again, Jay that was here earlier, he's not here like very often. I think that's the first time I've seen him in like months. Like I remember Jay from before. He's come in for maybe like 6 months ago and talked to us. It comes in sparingly. If you're here regularly, you guys have a lot more leash to be absolutely open and criticizing and negative about the Raptors. Because I know you guys are real ones because you've been in it with me for a long time. So Stargate, seriously, I don't mind. Now I may get pissed off if some people say certain things, but that's just my reaction. But honestly, I like all of the kind of debates and kind of the different perspectives that we all have. And I don't, like I said before, I don't want everybody to just think exactly like me. I think it's important for all of us to have a diverse perspective. And yeah, but I appreciate you saying that. You don't have to make that pledge, though. I would say this: don't throw our front office and coach under the bus just because of short-term losing right now. There has to be real fundamental things wrong with the function of what they're supposed to be doing with their work duties for me to say they should be fired. And I would, and you can see how I was the last year of Nick. I did not give him a pass. I was one of the people calling to fire Nick Nurse in the last 2 months of his last season because he was absolutely needing to be fired. So it's a time and a place for everything. I think just people are just too fire happy. Like, I want to fire Darko right now. You're crazy. That's really, really dumb. It's not what we need to do. Kaz is saying, laugh my ass off. We have no attachment to Frank. At least I don't. He's like 30. It's not that I want an attachment to him.
It's just that once again, I'll say this. In some ways, when a player comes and wears our jersey, I'll give them the outright respect right from the start. Now, if they are a player that's kind of selfish, like Kennedy Chandler, maybe I'll disrespect them a bit. But for the most part, Frank Kaminsky hasn't done things that has pissed me off or made me feel like he's been a bad addition to the 905. In fact, he's been very helpful. And I don't know. I just don't get it why people come in and clown and trash a guy who's played in the NBA for 10 years and has very successful basketball career in his life. You know, I know he's not on the level of like LeBron. I know that he's not necessarily a true NBA player at this point, but he was a true NBA player at a certain point. And how many people in the whole entire history of the world are in the small, minuscule percentage of people that play in the NBA? That's what I got to say, man. Like, people forget this all the time. They trash players in the G League. They trash players in the NBA. And I know I'm a hypocrite for trashing Kennedy Chandler right before this and say this. But to be in the G League, to be in the NBA, to be one of like 500 people in the world is a very select crew. And half these people talking shit about them will never, ever achieve anything close to what these people have achieved to get to the NBA, is what I have to say like that. Yeah, he is like 30. But, you know, you can't crush his dream. Let him have one last chance to try and make it. And he's helpful to the 905. He adds length. He's a truly good rebounder for us. And he's a shot block threat, too. So it's like we have a true center starting for the 905 without Shamshay starting for them. And that's worthy. That's useful is what I'm saying. Yeah, Carlos saying anybody saw the inside the steam room with Masai interview with Charles and Ernie. They talked about the rebuild and how front office doesn't want to be in Toronto. And Masai said no one here is crying about that. Oh, wait, hang on. I read that wrong. Anybody? Okay, Carlo, I have not seen this clip. If there's a clip there, Trevor, why didn't you find this shit? Trevor, we got to find this clip he's talking about. There was an inside the steam room with Charles and Ernie. I'm guessing Charles Barkley and Ernie Johnson. And they talked about the Toronto rebuild and how free agents don't want to be in Toronto. And Masai said no one here is crying about that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That free agent thing is overblown to an extent. But, you know, we become reliant on looking in other ways to get stuff instead of being reliant on the free agency and stuff. And so a lot of it's through the draft and just really smart trading. So, yeah, I mean, Masai's like that. I think I kind of remember this. Is this new or is this very old? Because I need to see this if this is out there. I don't remember watching this, and I probably need to watch it. Stargate saying Kasparis is the better traditional type of point guard, but Fears is the better scoring point guard in the mold of Donovan Mitchell or a Dame. You think Fears is like those guys? When I scouted Fears 2 days ago, he wasn't like that to me. He looks more like who's a good player comparison? I mean, he's got some good height. There were some things he was doing that reminded me of Penny. Penny Hardaway. Yeah, that's what he was reminding me of. Jeremiah Fears is a long, lanky, skinny point guard that can do a whole bunch of stuff on the court, and he's a very good lob passer. And he was reminding me of Penny at that height. Those guys are too short to be the comparison Stargate to me. You need a guy who's like 6'7", because, man, Fears look big, very, very tall for a point guard. So we're saying Frank Kaminsky trying to get a shot in the NBA. Remember, he was an NBA rotation player. Yeah, he was on Charlotte just like 2 years ago, and he was playing a lot because they were bad. But yeah, I don't know. In some ways, it's like, look, it's personal decisions. We want freedom in this world. Frank Kaminsky's not ready to hang him up. The NBA thinks he's still got a place in some ways in the G League right now. Well, let him have his place. You'll get that tough message at some point saying, you're too old, Frank. I'm sorry, you got to hang him up. It's done. But while he's still got a chance and people are still calling him and saying, yeah, you can come be on the Raptors 905 right now. Well, you got to keep trying. That's what I would say about this. You know, it could very well be that Kaminsky is getting on a plane to go to an international league at some point in the near future. But he's got to try while he can, guys. And what would you begrudge someone for trying to get their dream a little bit more extended? Because he has lived his dream already. He's been in the NBA. Let's see. G. Sam Mobo has great passing skills, and Eugene is poised. Only saw the end game, but they seem to be better under high-pressure situations. Yeah, that was hilarious. G comes in to the chat. You say, hey, guys, I haven't been here. And as soon as he comes in, J.D. Davison hits the three to tie the game and go into overtime. He's like, oh, crap. I'm officially bad luck for this team. Yeah, because he said this before. I remember G came in the game once before for 905, and they started losing as soon as he showed up. He's like, man, I feel like I'm a bad luck for them, and I need to stop watching G League. This is kind of like how I am with the Blue Jays. Exactly. I can't watch the Blue Jays. I'll be watching them. They'll have like a lead, and then all of a sudden, somehow they lose the lead just while I'm watching it very shortly afterwards. So, yeah, G was a little bit like that. The other thing that was annoying about the game last night was the Maine Celtics. The announcers do not have the phonetics of Jonathan's name. They kept calling him Mogbo. It was annoying the hell out of me. Annoying the hell out of me. Mogbo. Mogbo gets the rebound. Mogbo. It's Mobo. And you got to learn that, Maine Celtics. Do your job better. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Gee, you're not bad luck. It's just coincidence. Maybe not show up late for the game. And then you can't say that it was your factor of coming in there. Also, it's your ego that tells you that you're the one who has the factor in it. I know it's the same thing for me, too. It's like, yeah, come on, man. No, it's not you. It's not you. It's just very poor timing jumping into the chat. So he's saying maybe depending on what happens with the Raptors, he might get the call. Frank Kaminsky? He might. I mean, I don't know. He would be helpful. I mean, he's a big, and but he's not a very strong big. He's long. In some ways, he's not that far off from Chris. I think Chris is a way better player than him. And in some ways, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about this in my head. I'm like, well, could Frank Kaminsky get a 10-day? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's likely, but it maybe he might. Yeah. Mitch is saying Shamshay looking more like Raptors' future center. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Jay, I'm going to give you a dunk for this. He does. That's what I was flashing on last night. Was watching him and the way he's starting to pick up defense better. He really is looking like our future at center. Jay, you got your first dunk of the year. 3-pointer for you. Yeah, he's really looking like that. And the future is really, really looking good for him. Future's looking so bright for Shamshay, Prince Shamshay, on his defensive prowess and what he can bring to the Raptors as a starting center for us in the future. He's going to be awesome, honestly. Honestly, that's right. All right, let me see. Cass, you're saying Fears is 6'4" and Igor is 6'9"? Really? Man, why did Igor look shorter to me than Fears? Fears plays so much bigger. Maybe he's in a different conference. I don't know. I don't know why. I did the scouts, and to me, Igor Denham, I remember him being tall too. I thought they were both about the same size. But Jeremiah Fears is only 6'4". He looked taller than me, at least his frame. I don't believe the heights listed anymore. They're lying about heights all over the place. Like, seriously. It used to be they give inches, but now they take inches from people. Like, Charles Barkley was really like 6'4", but they called him 6'7". And meanwhile, Scotty's like 6'9", but they're calling him 6'7". Like, it's stupid. It makes me mad because it's like I don't trust these heights anymore. I'm looking at Jeremiah Fears, and he looked like he was 6'6" to me. He didn't look like he's 6'4". That's weird. That's weird. I was watching it, man. I was watching it. That's right. All right, classic card. Thank you, Kat, for the prompt. And it's a current card, so it's going to be a player that's more recent, because we're doing the Christmas cards right now. We're in the Christmas spirit. And thank you to niece and nephew in Atlanta for giving me. Here you go. We are going to write this name fully out. Full name first. We'll get the points. This is a little bit of a tough one. We'll see how you guys do. Boom. Kaz is on it. Kaz is like, I know this. This is Tyus Jones. You could have had Folly because there is another Jones brother in the league, but he got the right Tyus, the right Jones. It's Tyus for the Washington Wizards. Wow, good job, Kaz. On top of it, I think this is like your second one ever, right? You were saying that you got your first classic card 2 days ago. Yeah, there it is on the sheet. Classic card. You got Cam Thomas the other day. You're getting these newer guys that are just around like the time. So you were really good at current card picks. You know what? That's a harder one. I'm going to give you 150 because that Jones, you could get that mixed up with his brother. His brother's in the league also, and that's why he got it right there. Yeah, you're definitely better with current players. You did a good job there. Yeah, let's see. Kaz saying, as commentary, it's your job to learn the correct pronunciation of all the players' names from game to game. Yeah, they should have a media guide. I mean, this is what I studied in school, like at Florida State. I was in the School of Communication, and I covered FSU games of all sports. I went to FSU football games, and I sat up in the the press box at Bobby Bowden Field, Doak Campbell Stadium. And, it was kind of awesome. You're up there with like all the press and you're sitting and you got your desk and you're kind of sitting there and you got your pencil and you get the stats every quarter. They come in and they give you like the sheets of paper to everybody. And what they have up there is media guides. Like the media gets media guides. And in the media guide, you get it from each team. It'll have all the pronunciations of all their players and all their pertinent information that the commentators on sports shows utilize. So it's like these guys aren't totally always so smart. They'll do their homework ahead of the game. They'll take the media guide and they'll study it. And if there's some weird names of players that are in the game, they'll actually go and look at how to pronounce them right. Now, I fuck up pronouncing stuff all the time because I'm pronouncing without pronunciations. And then I'll hear Matt Devlin say the name on TV, and I'll be like, oh, that's how you say that? Fontecchio? I was calling him Fontecchio, Fontecchio, or something like that. You find out how to pronounce stuff later. But yeah, he should have a media guide, Maine Celtics, and it should have said Mobo on there. Mobo. The G is silent. That's right. Mobo. Lex saw Giannis's last name. Yeah, that was a tough one in the beginning. But, when you're so good, you make people know my name. Say my name. Helsingborg. Is that what his name is? Helsingborg or whatever? What was his name? I forget. Breaking Bad. Heisenberg. Yeah. Like how I say Giannis's last name, Antetokounmpo. Isn't that right? Antetokounmpo? Giannis Antetokounmpo. Isn't that right? Giannis Antetokounmpo? I thought that's how you say it. I've tried to master saying Giannis's name for so many years. That's not right. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is it Antetokounmpo? What am I not saying right with it? I'm going to have to teach myself this real quick. Y'all are calling me out on this. In some ways, I'm like, what? That's not the way you say Giannis's name? All right, let me see how you pronounce it. Pronunciation. All right, let's hear them say it. Antetokounmpo. Okay, so and it's even got Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo. It's not Antetokounmpo. It's Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo? That's how you say it? I was the ta in the middle. All right, we're going to have pronunciation lessons with Lex. I guess I should have learned this better. Maybe that's why we didn't win the Giannis sweepstakes. Rabbit Free couldn't say his name. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo. All right, I'll try and say that better in the future. Yeah, I have been saying it wrong, I guess. Either way, I'll just call him Giannis. That'll be the easier way to do it. Antetokounmpo. That one's important. That's what I was trying to say. Is like, well, you get as good as Giannis, make sure people say your name right. I mean, how long did it take for them to say Valanciunas right? Seriously. How long did it take for them to say Anunoby right? Seriously. It took a long time for them to get Anunoby right, or Anunoby. OG Anunoby. Well, New York fans and New York commentators say his name right now. They do. They get his name right now. That's right. Yeah, Stargate got it. Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo. All right, I got about 20 minutes. I'm going to finish up, though. We did the classic part. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. We did a reaction to the game. Let me just go through my tabs real fast. We'll do the rundown. Why not? Once again, injuries for tonight. Ochai Agbaji is probably out again today due to his hip pointer from the couple games ago. So, yeah, Ochai is the only one on our injury list. Detroit's got Jaden Ivey on the list, of course, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is questionable for today due to his back. So those are the only injuries listed for Detroit. The referees for today, first of all, for G League, Marcy Williams is the crew chief, Kevin Fay is the referee, and Kaz Beverly is the umpire. This is the second game of back-to-back against Maine Celtics, and hopefully we can add to a great victory in overtime last night with another win. The referees for the Raptors game at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit tonight, Nick Bookert is the crew chief. He's a very positive ref for the Raptors in his history of refereeing. He favors the Raptors. The second ref is Ray Acosta. He favors the Raptors also. He's a little bit more mid-range. And then Suyash. I got to get this. There's another pronunciation here. Suyash Mehta is the third ref. He's the worst ref for the Raptors. He favors the Pistons. Just in the ref report, just so y'all know. I did the Instagram stories. Happy birthday to Chris. Everybody's celebrating Chris Boucher's 32nd birthday today. Raptors 905 won last night. My 5 stars of the game: Eugene Omoruyi, Jamison Battle, Urush Shamshe, Frank Kaminsky, and Jonathan Mobo are my 5 stars. Happy birthday, Chris. That's right. I got my birthday already there. If you guys have a fantasy team, set it up, check it out, get it going, and get it right. There you go. That's what I say right there. Kensington Variety VIP Club episodes coming out today. Another episode came out today. If you want to check that out. 5 years ago, what was going on? Yeah, all right. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up and get on out of here. Stargate saying, is Oshai questionable or out? I think Blake said straight up yesterday he's going to be out again today. But yeah, he's questionable technically on the list. But I could see him not playing for sure. Yeah, I'm not expecting Oshai back for this game. Let's see. Cass saying, I just want the tall, blonde, bald ref again. He's a real one. You want Eric Dalen, tight end from Minnesota that played University of Minnesota tight end football. Yeah. Eric Dalen's all right. He's all right. He's a good ref. He's been very kind to the Raptors over the years. You know. Yeah, it's weird because I've noticed looking at the ref report today that there's some of our best refs that we are really fun and great for us to have. We've barely gotten this year. Like Dedrick Taylor is one of the best refs towards the Raptors. We have not seen him once this year. Another one is our guy Bill Kennedy. Bill Kennedy used to ref our games all the time. He's one of the coolest refs, but we haven't seen Bill Kennedy yet this year. It's kind of crazy. There's been a few that have kind of not been around us a whole lot this year so far. And then there's some that have been around us a lot. Like the 2 refs that we've had the absolute most this year have been Simone Jelks, who refereed the last game. She's ref 5 games for us this year. And Murat Kugat, who's refereed 4 games for us this year. So those and Pat Frere, he's refereed 4 games also. So those are the refs that we've had the most. Jelks, Kugat, and Frere. We've had all them. Yeah, I don't know where Bill Kennedy's been. He's been refereeing in other places around the league. We haven't seen much Scott Foster or Ed Malloy either. Knock on wood. That's fine with me. Cass saying, I'll have to keep an eye out for those 2. Yeah. There's man, Dedrick's really good. Dedrick used to be a UPS driver, and he's just a great ref. And Bill Kennedy is the karaoke master, and just been an awesome ref to the Raptors in history too. Let's see, Castan. I've been paying a lot more attention to the refs since I started watching your stream, Lex. There you go. Well, more eyes on them, the more accountability, and the more we can kind of suss out manipulation. You know what? The weird thing is, when I first started doing the ref project, I was really jaded about them and thinking they were so crooked. But you know what? I've really broadened my stance on them as far as like seeing that they're not all like each other. They're very much like people. They're very varied. And some of them are bad. Some of them are very, very bad and very manipulative and totally crooked refs. But some of them are absolutely top-notch, amazing people. And I think that that's the thing I've learned the most about paying attention to the refs so closely for 4 years now, is that the referees are very individual and they're very different people. And they're going to be different personalities. And that's why I can't just say, I think that in some ways the NBA referees are some of the best referees in the world because they have the hardest officials job in the entire world, if you ask me. They really do. They really, really, really do. And they do a good job for the most part. And some of them are very honorable and trustworthy men and women. And, those are the ones that I'll celebrate. And the ones that are kind of screwy and weird, well, I'll call them out. I will call them out. But I think in the time I've been doing this project, my opinion of the referees has gone up. It has gone up in the whole. That I feel like the NBA refs are actually doing a good job to an extent. If you pay really close attention to them, you will see it. But in some ways, if they're going against your team and you just hate them, well, they're going to go against your team 50% of the time. And that's why people hate the refs. That's why they do. That's why they do. Man, I like that you guys are more interested in the refs and you know them better, partly because of what I'm doing on this channel. All right, let's get out of here, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. Raptors double duty. Can we get that double W finally? We've had a lot of days in the last couple months where both the Raptors and Raptors 905 are both playing, but one team always screws it up and doesn't get the W when the other one does. There's been nights when the 905 wins usually and the Raptors don't. But there have been a few where the Raptors have won and the 905 did not come through and win there. So let's get the double W tonight, Raptors teams, and get both of them. We have the opportunity to do it again. I want to see that. And we started with losing mentality and comment from Jay earlier. Well, we're going to end it on a W comment saying, let's get a double W tonight. The Pistons, they're not that far down the road ahead of us getting their things going. They were really bad last year. So let's go ahead and show them and remind them they were bad last year by beating the hell out of them today. That's what I'm saying right there. W stream, W community, W raps. Let's go. That's right. Why would you even be a fan and put the time and intention invested in being a Raptors fan if you weren't going to try and strive for achievement and positivity and winning? Is what I would say. That's it right there. 9th win tonight. Let's fucking go. That's right, Carlo JS. Let's go, Raptors. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, join, or share, or whatever. Comment, whatever those things YouTube people say at the end of their streams to promote. Whatever you want to do it. Do it. And Raptorize your day like Nav would. And I'd say touch grass, but there's snow everywhere. Everywhere there's snow right now. All right, let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Raptors. 905. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Raptors. 905. Let's go, Raptors.